The Attleboro Police Department is bringing back an icon from a past era. A team of volunteers have been working to restore a 1975 Dodge Coronet into a replica of a police cruiser from that decade. The project has been in the works for some time, and the vehicle should be ready to roll for the city's 100th anniversary parade. Patrolman Ronald Goyette has led the project from the beginning, and we spoke with him to learn more about the project.
The idea was the chief had approached me and asked me, because of my background, asked me if I could help him in locating a car for a parade car, and he wanted one from the era that his father would have been working. So from the late 60s to the mid 80s would have been ideal for him. And we happened to come across, we searched eBay, Craigslist. I was looking on old websites, Car Gurus, I was looking everywhere. But we were either getting outbid or people were not willing to wait for a purchase order to come through from the city. My mother-in-law actually stopped by on Christmas this past year and said she had found a 57 Coronet in her over 55 park where she lives if I was interested. It was 3,500 or something like that, and it was in great shape. When I went to look at it, it was actually a 1975 Coronet, four-door, which was exactly what we were looking for. And when I explained to the man what we were looking for and what the chief wanted, he said, yeah, I'd be more than happy to wait for a PO and turn it into a parade car. This actually was the type of car that the city of Attleboro ordered in 1975. They actually had two 1975 Coronets in their fleet. And the car that we used as a model for the graphics, the designs, and the lettering was actually a photo from the Wall Street Police Department that contained a 1975 Dodge Coronet in the photograph. So we just modeled this car entirely off of that one. It couldn't have worked out more perfect. I have an automotive background. I worked at a couple of shops in the area, and then I taught at the high school, the automotive. But my actual background has been in police work. I was a policeman in Virginia, and then I've been up here. I was an auxiliary here for 12 years or so, and then I got hired full time. And so there was kind of convergence of the two facets of my life I most enjoy. Cars and police work. It couldn't have worked out better. This car was a Florida car, and it was in very good shape, rust-wise. It had a vinyl top and some of the trim, and that lended itself to a few rot spots, but underneath where Chryslers from this era are traditionally in a little bit of a disadvantage, this one was actually remarkably well done underneath. So what we needed was all the accessories, the wheels and tires. They had regular 14-inch tires. The police cars came with 15-inch tires on slotted rims with holes in the hubcaps. We had a broken mirror on one side, and the marker lights on the four corners were broken and or falling apart. So Greg McGovern, who owns Better Automotive here, he was at a swap meet in Pennsylvania, located the four wheels and hubcaps for $250. And then he found the remote chrome mirror for this particular car, also at the same swap meet. So that was added on. It's on the driver's door. The other one, the mirror was falling out. It was actually being held in by Scotch tape. So he located that. We grabbed those two things, and then he also happened to know somebody who said, hey, I've got a set of almost new marker lights, and we were able to pick up the marker lights for $25 too. And they were uncracked. They were actually in very good condition. So they were added on. And then Charlie Souffley from Chaz's Auto Body did a remarkable job on the paint. Remarkable. The paint, because of, in 1975, because of the chemical content, you can't reproduce it exactly now. Charlie had to mix it by eye So there Charlie and I were in the paint booth, and he's mixing stuff by eye, and I'm adding down the weights that he's putting in to try and get it correct. And as best we can tell, he did a fantastic job in bringing back that particular color from that era. So, you know, we had some troubles and trials along the way, but thanks to Charlie and Greg, they did a bang-up job. My contribution was merely a facilitator. I just happened to know the people and was able to put people together, and you know, the real work goes to those guys. Charlie and Greg really did a vast majority of what needed to get done here. And then Coolidge Signs on Eddy Square actually did the graphics for the city of Attleboro back in the mid-70s. They did the graphics on the doors and the fenders and the rear deck. My understanding is that they still had the graphic stuff from that era. So we brought it over there in a matter of a couple of hours. They had the graphics completed. So we've been very fortunate, very fortunate. The lights, the chief actually had, he's been hanging on to the lights for many, many years now, just waiting for the exact opportunity to get the car that he wanted, to put the lights on it. He's held on to them for a long time. This has been a pet project of his for a long time. The lights are actually unique because they're chain driven. Only one light actually has a motor in it, and then there's a chain drive that drives the second light. Dave Vieira, the city police department's mechanic, he actually did repaired the links because one of them wasn't working. So he pulled the chain drive out and got one of the links repaired, and he's done a little fabricating for the mounts because the mounts didn't quite match up the way they were supposed to. So he did some machining there and did the mounting. The center speaker was missing, so Dave located a speaker and had to custom build a mount for that speaker. Dave did a great job also. A lot of the work now will be like finish work. It runs and drives. We may have a charging problem that Greg's looking into, which would probably be an alternator, and he's already got the alternator. He's going to check it. If that's what it is, we're going to replace the alternator so it'll be ready for the parade. But after that, it's going to be a lot of aesthetic stuff. The interior is in rough shape. We're going to see if we can locate some aftermarket seat covers and replace them maybe from a vendor like Year One or something like that. All these B-body Chryslers all took the same stuff basically, so we just need to find somebody who's got some vinyl for a B-body and replace them, cover them, whatever we need to do. And the rest of it is minor. The car's in really good shape. And now that the bulk of the body and stuff has been done, it really comes down to just finishing the interior, and a few fine things might need to be done. I enjoy the looks that I get. I've been driving it, shuttling it back and forth here and there. And a lot of people, I get thumbs up from people as I'm driving it back and forth. People just drive and they're like, hey, great car. So it's been a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the parade on Saturday.